Welcome back in another episode of NBA 2K14. In the last episode, as the Pistons beat the Bucks in a tight one as the Pistons win it, 112 to 97, winning by 15 points. And coming up next is the final game of the regular season game in 2025. Belongs to the Oracle Arena in Oakland as Chris Paul and the Los Angeles Clippers take on Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors. This was the first two playoff matchups in real life. Despite the Warriors won Game 1, this is the 2014 despite the Warriors won Game 1 here. This was the first match in 2014 playoffs between those two teams. Clippers won Game 2. Clippers game 1 back-to-back games in Game 2 and 3. Warriors bounce back in Game 4. Clippers win Game 5. And Warriors forces Game 7 here, win by Game 6. And then, Game 7, despite the Warriors leading in the first half, and Clippers rise back to the net and win the series in 7 games, winning by 5 points in Game 7, advances to the semifinals before losing to the semifinals in the West against the Thunder in 6 games. It was Game 4, win by Clippers comeback, and then ended up losing Game 5 and collapsed by 7-point lead. And then win Game 6, the win advances to the Western Conference Finals. And then, the latest playoff matchups, it was 2019 playoffs. The only time the home team will win in Game 1, it was the Warriors won. Game 2, this was complete the biggest playoff comeback in NBA playoff history, down by 31 points as the Clippers stun in Game 2. And then back-to-back Game 3 and 4 winner on the road win by the Warriors up 3-1. Clippers win in Game 5, and then the Warriors win Game 6, led by Kevin Durant scores 50 points. And eventually, they went into the NBA Finals for the fifth consecutive year, for the fifth time in the Warriors' history, before losing to the 2019 Finals against the Raptors in 6 games. So that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin, and for this game, the Clippers going to use the blue, and the Warriors going to use the white. And now we send it over to Kevin Harlan here in the Oracle Arena in Oakland. Anyways, let's get started. Enjoy the video. Here it is.
Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports' presentation of the NBA. I'm Damon Bruce. Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It'll be the Los Angeles Clippers facing off against the Golden State Warriors. And now let's turn it over to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke at the arena. I'll have more for you at halftime.
And a shot of the west span of the Bay Bridge. What a terrific view. Welcome, everyone. Let's get ready for some NBA basketball on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And joining us a bit later from the sidelines, Doris Burke. Now a chance to check out tonight's starting lineups. First for the Clippers, CP3 and Jamal Crawford make the backcourt. And inside at center, along 6'11", the skyscraping big man out of Texas A&M, DeAndre Jordan. Then there's Jared Dudley, and it's Griffin in at power forward. And then for the Golden State Warriors, Curry and Thompson, the Splash Brothers in the backcourt. And at the pivot, a terrific defender and all-around player, the Australian sensation, 7-footer Andrew Bogut. Then there's Iguodala, and it's Lee in at the power forward position.
One of the things that really jumps out at you about the Clippers is their depth. Really impressive. I mean, they've surrounded their stars with a bench that includes Jamal Crawford, who was second in the voting for Sixth Man of the Year. They've got a nice second year.
Tip-off goes to the Clippers. Paul against Curry. Paul outside. Shot clock at 6. Lets it go. Wide open shot is on the money. And we talk about the bench for the Clippers last season. Also guys like Matt Barnes and Lamar Odom. Steve, some good defensive tenacity there, too.
Yeah, they had an edge. Barnes really gave them some toughness and some grit. I thought Crawford's shooting gave them some balance, but then Bledsoe slashing. They're a lot of fun to watch that bench unit.
The easiest way to do it sometimes is with the bounce pass.
Well, Jordan is a highlight machine, particularly on offensive rebounds or catching lobs from teammates. He's just so athletic for a 7-footer that it seems like his head gets up near the rim when he's dunking the ball.
Oh, yeah, he just love it. His ability to rise up into plays on defense, too. Players will try and float shots over him, but he's so explosive rising up that he just goes up and swats it away like it's nothing at all. About a minute played so far here in the first. Ball outside, and Steph Curry with the foul. That's his first foul.
I like the call. I thought the defense was moving there.
Yeah, I think he slid underneath. Good blocking call that trip.
Paul kicks to Douglas. Good, and Paul gets the assist.
Boy, it was an impressive turnaround for Mark Jackson and the Warriors last season. I mean, his promise of making the playoffs didn't come together in his first season at the Controls, but in year 2, they got it done. I can tell you what, most thought Mark would be a really outstanding coach, and he's well on his way to making that a reality.
And here's Dudley after the three-pointer from Klay Thompson.
And they're on fire. They've made 4 straight shots to get this thing going.
Now let's send it down to Doris Burke, who was able to talk with Mark Jackson.
He knows that the challenge for his team in this game will be to slow down Blake Griffin, who he described as instant momentum. With Griffin being such a handful physically, they plan to limit his ability to get any space around the basket and hopefully cut down those powerful drives toward the rim.
And thank you for that, Doris. And for Mark Jackson, there have been some questions. He had never spent time as a coach, even as an assistant. I guess the question was, Steve, would he be able to take over the reins as a head coach?
Well, the biggest thing you want to do as an NBA coach is have your players buy into what you're selling. And Mark Jackson's been able to do that. His players believe in him, motivates them, they like playing for him, and that's most of the battle right there.
And they double up Paul. Back to Griffin. Plenty of space. Again, Los Angeles.
They really look sharp here. Razor sharp. Extremely focused.
Just over 2.5 minutes played here so far in the first quarter. And it's good.
Steph Curry is virtually impossible to defend. He can hit from anywhere on the floor. In the gym range, personified with Curry. Mid-range jumpers are like layups to him. And inside, he's got the floater finger roll and the runner. You always expect his shots to go in. It's like watching a game of force at full speed when the highest stakes are on the line.
Here's Iguodala following the score by Jamal Crawford. Paul against Curry. Oh! What a play!
Oh, look at that.
That is a
Bringing down the house. You have got to be kidding me.
Clark, talk about taking things into your own hands.
Did you get an assist and a field goal for that? I mean, that was ridiculous. And the Warriors turnaround, I think, in large part because of the improvement defensively and on the boards last year. That was a 5 or 6 year stretch where Golden State was maybe the worst team in both categories in the entire league. But the schemes have changed, the personnel, the intent, the toughness, and it has all led to a new era for the Golden State Warriors basketball team.
Byron Mullins is checked in for the Clippers. Odom comes in for Blake Griffin. From deep. Count that one.
Well, I'm not necessarily a big fan of him shooting that shot, but they did give him the space.
And Thompson kicks to Iguodala. Another three for Golden State. And back to the Warriors working to crack the paint. Into a three-point shooting contest with them, but I think they'd welcome that.
I agree. I mean, with the Splash Brothers in the backcourt, you can get sprayed in a hurry from all angles. I mean, Those guys are terrific. But again, their improved defense and rebounding was a big part of their success as well.
Here's Iguodala after the made shot from Mullins. Curry outside. That falls. Nice lead that time from Andre Iguodala. That's now 9 points for Steph Curry. Collison kicks to Mullins. That's good.
I don't know how they're going to keep this pace up. Both teams on fire here early.
And playing the game on rollerblades, too.
Curry passes to Green. Odom's there. Green in the post. Guarded by Odom. And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play. The Warriors shooting their first free throw of the game. Now here's Odom. Redick inside the line. Again, Los Angeles.
He's such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Now Curry. Passes it to Ezeli. He's against Mullins. With 4 seconds on the clock. And he lays it up and in.
You can make adjustments to the shot in mid. And midstream and still knock it down, you know you're flowing.
Offense, the order of the day as the first quarter comes to a close. Warriors lead by 6. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Oracle Arena in Oakland, California. Welcome back to the NBA on 2K Sports. More action in store as the players get ready to go. Having a nice break to get hydrated with Gatorade. And Steve and Clark and I are refreshed and ready to go here as well. And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for the Warriors.
Now, they didn't waste any time getting into a groove out there. They're dialed in from long range.
Also, what passing we've seen from them here early. I mean, there could be a big number in the assist column if this keeps up.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Thank you, Kevin. Chris Paul is the outspoken leader for this Clippers team. Jamal Crawford said, quote, "I've never been around a player who was so vocal." Paul explained it this way. "I've been fortunate to be short my entire life. There's only one position I've ever had to play, and that's point guard. So I've always had to be that leader, and that was my job, to talk. And guys, he's a big people person too. Not hard to see a career in coaching once his playing days are over."
Holding everyone accountable, Doris. Thanks.
You know, Darren Collison, DC as he's known, is a guy that does everything you want from a point guard at a decent level, but really doesn't excel at anything in a great fashion. Sort of falls into the jack-of-all-trades category.
And Los Angeles with some changes. Blake Griffin, he's checked in for Odom. Crawford comes in for J.J. Redick. And it's Paul in for Darren Collison. The shot's good from Paul.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
And Clark, you mentioned Collison not dominant in any one category. What areas, Steve, do you think that Darren Collison can improve in?
Well, he can be a very good defender when he puts pressure on defenses, so he's got to focus on that end of the floor. And then offensively, probably shoots a little bit more often than he should. You know, at that size, you want a guard who's going to get your team into an offense.
Here's Crawford. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Jordan.
Yeah, and he's a bomber. I mean, that's what I love about him. He's as good a three-point shooter as you'll see. And, of course, has the green light to let it fly anytime he wants.
And also, if you watch him on the defensive end, you can see how tough it is to screen him off a play. I mean, he goes through it, around it, or under. He finds a way to shake off screens.
And the Warriors with some changes. David Lee's checked in for Draymond Green. Iguodala comes in for Harrison Barnes. And Steph Curry subbed in for Tony Douglas.
You know, a big part of the Warriors' success last year was their proficiency from behind the arc. They've got a number of guys that shoot it well from there. The only surprising thing was that perhaps they didn't shoot as many threes as you thought they might.
Iguodala, right side. Kicks to Bazemore from beyond the arc. And Paul pulls it down. now the Clippers. They're on an 11-3 run. Good. Paul's got 7 points. And Clark, when you have a backcourt like they do, you expect it to rain nonstop. Well, Curry and Johnson would finish first and third in made threes on the year. And as Steve, you noted, both have shot well over 40%. But as you said, they didn't take that many threes as a team during the regular year.
Well, they would take a few more in the playoffs when David Lee was injured because Harrison Barnes was moved to the 4, and that really spread the floor. And I think that might be a lineup we'll see more of this year. That's their first turnover. So they've done an excellent job of taking care of the basketball. One of the reasons they have this lead.
Oh, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game. Giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
Klay Thompson is checked in for the Warriors. For Los Angeles, they've gotten all but one of their 7 shots in the second quarter to drop. Pretty impressive. Lee gets to Curry. Somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. And now it's a 3-point Warrior lead. They've been doing a great job of sharing the ball.
Excellent display of team play.
Steve, I know you love great teamwork.
Yeah, it's so much fun to watch when the ball is moving. There's kind of a rhythm to the game that just happens. The ball moves almost on its own, Kevin. It's fun to watch.
And Iguodala gets it to go in on the assist by Curry. 12 points for Andre Iguodala.
Now he's starting to pick up from what he accomplished in the first quarter, where he made 3 of his 3-point attempts. He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
The fans don't like that call one bit.
Well, the officials got an earful as a result. You know, with how dominant he's been since entering the league, we can start to wonder where Paul will fall in terms of all-time greats when you talk about point guards. When it's all said and done, I think he'll be right in that group of the best point guards to ever play the game.
And Doris Berg has a report for us from the sideline.
That the Bay Area loves its basketball. It was made abundantly clear during last year's playoff run. Steph Curry saying, quote, "We made it to the conference semifinals and they gave me a key to the city." The key to the city for the semis. If we'd won a title, they'd have put a statue of Coach Jackson on top of the bridge. That statue might not be too far off the way they are collecting talent, Kev.
You can tell they've made a big impression. Thanks, Doris. Here's what the Clippers are going with right now. Odom comes in for Blake Griffin, and J.J. Redick is subbed in for Jamal Crawford. We talk about Chris Paul's place among the great point guards in league history. The advanced stats community make a compelling case to put Paul right at the top of the list. And this is going to rankle some people.
Well, it's all about efficiency when you want to talk advanced stats. And so that means how often do you get to the line, when are you turning it over, what your shooting percentages are. And Paul has really good numbers across the board.
A jump hook and another basket for Golden State.
In the first, he had trouble hitting with any consistency. But here in the second, he's turned it around.
He feeds it to Doug. The 3. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Dudley's got 9.
And that kind of defense is just not going to cut it, guys. I mean, they have to get a hand in his face.
Gets the bucket. 15-point for Andre Iguodala.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the three-point line. That's 4 of the last 5. You got to run those guys off the line.
I agree, and the defense is practically giving them those shots, though.
Paul, right side. Back to Jordan. And counts the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the... line for one more.
Guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with the way they work down low.
Well, it's become one of the stories of the first half, Clark, just piling up points in the paint.
And here's Barnes for 3. Another 3 for Golden State. Here's Redick. Shot is off. And the first half... Ends in a close one. The Warriors on top, leading by 5. And coming up after the break, it'll be Damon Bruce breaking down all the highlights from the first half of play.
Now, presented by Sprint. Sunday action is in full swing, so let's break down the first half for you. The Golden State Warriors are ahead against the Clippers. Wiping the glass defensively. Look, no streaks. They're preventing any second-chance opportunities. Stephen Curry with an amazing start. The bucket looks about 5 feet wide for him. He hasn't missed one shot. Can you believe it? And doing their best to stay alive, the Los Angeles Clippers. They've been relentless attacking the rim, dominating in points in the paint, and the bodies down low have been banging away. Chris Paul in the first half, amazing. He's up to 9 points, and as usual, he's been handing out a lot of assists. And that's all there is for me here in the studio. Time to send you back to my friend Kevin Harlan and the crew for the second half.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second half getting underway. Both teams battling hard through the first half. Really an incredible game from Stephen Curry.
Yeah, the magic touch with the ball. He just made great decisions, piling up the assists there in the first half, and really doing a nice job for his teammates.
You know, it isn't a very common occurrence, Steve. Typically, he's more likely to be on the receiving end of the pass, but so far, it's been the other way around here. You know, you go through the regular season, guys, and set all sorts of records for your franchise and wins and winning streaks and all that. You win your division for the first time ever, your first 50-win season, and what do you get for it? Bounced in the first round of the playoffs. It's still progress, though, and I think the Clippers use that for motivation this season. Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
But, you know, they've got a nice lead. Don't take any chances. The simple one-hander is just fine.
Now here's Paul. He's got 9. Dudley. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Dudley's got 4 points this quarter. Clark, as you said, the Clippers got up 2-zip on the Grizzlies, but all of a sudden it came to a crashing halt. As Steve, they dropped 4 consecutive games, and just like that, we're out of the postseason.
Yeah, injuries played a part. Blake Griffin sprained his ankle, but I think the Clippers were exposed a little bit too. They're limited offensively on the front line. Maybe not quite enough shooting, but that's why they made the moves in the offseason. And they're looking to pick up and make some improvement in that regard.
Los Angeles calls timeout. A little over a minute gone here in the second half. Crawford's shot is good. Warriors leading by 6.
You know, this is an interesting little factoid, fellas. Jamal Crawford is the all-time career leader in 4-point play. That's where you get fouled and make the 3. There must be an art to it. If there is, he's the master artist.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Iguodala kicks to Curry. Off the mark there with the 3-point shot.
Now still a great start to the half after hitting their first 3 even before that miss.
Look from Crawford, sinks it from just inside the baseline. Crawford's got 11. And Clark, you mentioned those 4-point plays. That may be hard to pull off now with the Reggie Miller rule. Officials will call an offensive foul if you kick out your leg on the shot. Well, Dupree used to do it all the time, and it hits the defender.
Yeah, that's how Jamal Crawford got a lot of those 4-point plays early in his career, but there's a reason that he's able to convert those, and it's because he can create his own shot off the dribble from the 3-point line. And so a lot of times defenders are lunging at him because they've put on their heels defensively because of his work off the dribble. And the threes continue to go down, and that almost nothing. Happening from deep at the other.
But the way to turn that around is defensively, by stopping their outside shot, not by getting into a shootout.
A different look for the Clippers. Hollins is checked in, and it's Byron Mullins in for Jared Dudley. Now a timeout called by Golden State, and the Clippers making a change here. A little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the third. Douglas kicks to Thompson. Iguodala, guarded by Odom. And Iguodala gets it to go in on the assist by Thompson. 20 points for Andre Iguodala.
Just putting on a passing display out there.
Well, just add another fantastic assist to the highlight reel for this guy.
The feed to Douglas. Shoots it up. Again, Golden State. Clippers trail by 7.
You know, it's funny, you look at the Golden State Warriors, they've had the third best home court advantage in the league over the last decade or so. Only the Rocky Mountain teams, Denver and Utah, were better. At Oracle, it's not the altitude, it's the crowd. One of the best in all of the NBA.
Another three for Golden State.
Right back at you. They immediately get those 3 points back.
Trading punches, that's how you answer.
Here's Redick. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Redick's got 5 points in the quarter.
Well, once a shooter, always a shooter. J.J. Redick, one of the great marksmen of all time at Duke in the college game. It's kept on rolling here in the NBA. He's got deep range on his three. Can spot up and shoot from anywhere, and also put the ball on the floor a couple times and create a shot inside.
Great shot is right. And like you said, not only threes, but Steve, any shot where you give Redick a chance to set his feet and get a clear view of the hoop. His shot form is just too consistent for him to miss. He's one of those players who works on that just so diligently. You know he's going to find a degree of success every time out there. Here's Iguodala. A stupendous finish in traffic. Iguodala's got 22 points. And Clark, as you were saying about the Warriors, they really feed off this home crowd. Steve, you said maybe the best in the NBA.
I think so, just in terms of the support they get, regardless of their success. You think back over the last 16, 17 years, the Warriors have only been in the playoffs twice, and yet the fans are there every single night going nuts. So now that they're a good team, I think this fan base is really going to come alive.
Thompson, defended by Redick. And another three for Golden State.
He has gotten a little lax defending the three-point shot at that end.
Agreed, Clark. They poured in 3 of the last 5 baskets on pretty open looks behind the arc.
Now here's Redick. 11 points in the game. Paul for 3. And again, Los Angeles with the triple.
Another good offensive possession for him. He's trying to shoulder the load here for his team.
Iguodala kicks to Douglas. Pass to Thompson. There's the dish to Douglas. And another three for Golden State.
Boy, they've come out of halftime just smoking hot from behind the arc.
Hey, trust me on this one, partner. They are going to continue to let them fly. Excellent communication on the inbound play there, guys. He got in a good position, and the pass was as it needed to be, on time and on target.
And offensively, a great show for the fans through the first 3 quarters. It's been a fun game to watch. Warriors lead by 7. And time to step aside quickly, but we'll be back in no time with the start of the 4th quarter. Hello and thanks for joining us, folks. The 4th quarter of play should begin momentarily. And a look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Warriors.
Guys, the passing we've seen from them has been tremendous. Very unselfish.
And another thing that's obviously helped them here, guys, is how hot they've been from the three-point line. They've been on fire.
He kicks to Barnes. Trying to come right back with the 3 of his own, but it's no good. Here's Dudley. The finger roll finish at the bucket.
Good defense, but you gotta love the finish with the finger roll over the top.
And Bazemore kicks to Curry. And the 3 ball is good. Curry's got 28.
The three-pointer has been his best weapon here today, no question.
The D has been all mixed up, confused, bamboozled, allowing him way too much space.
Crawford. Here's Jordan. And down it goes, jamming that one home. Here's Bazemore. 60 seconds off the clock here in the fourth. The three from Barnes. Good, and Curry gets the assist. Curry's got his 7th assist in the game.
12 straight points coming off three-pointers. I mean, somebody do something defensively.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, who's going to step up? They're rolling out there now, so you got to get in their chest, make them uncomfortable, and try to deny those looks.
Timeout called the Warriors. And the Clippers making a switch here. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Mark Jackson was going over with his team. He told his team to keep looking for three-point opportunities, saying their perimeter defense isn't doing a good job getting out on our shooters. So let's keep firing away until they decide to guard us.
6 to shoot. Got a piece of it. And stolen by Jordan. Ball goes in. This is to Douglas. And again, Los Angeles with the triple.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any agenda.
It's hard to overstate all the points they've scored on assists today. Beautiful to watch.
Cut the bucket.
Tell you what, until this defense gets out and defends the three-point line, it's going to be a parade.
Yeah, we've already seen 3 in a row from out there.
Now here's Crawford. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Outside, Green. Another three for Golden State.
And this game is really heated up. I didn't think it could get any more high scoring than it already was.
Well, there's always room for more offense, Steve. You know that.
Here's Paul. The pass to Crawford. Shot, high post, and a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. And it's 13 points for Jamal Crawford. Thompson dishes to Iguodala. Hogan. He's against Jordan. Hogan down low. Guarded by Jordan. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. And it's 6 points for Andrew Bogut. Clippers trail by 7. Paul is double. Jordan. Now Griffin inside. And it's thrown down hard with both hands.
It makes it so easy for your teammate when you can lead him with a pass like that one.
And here's Green outside. And another three for Golden State.
That's how to orchestrate for your team. Terrific pass.
Los Angeles calls timeout. They're trailing by 8. There's 1:54 left to play in the final quarter. And the Warriors making a change here. Lee's checked in. So it's the Clippers now. 8-point game. The drive by Paul. And DeAndre Jordan throws it down.
A surreal alley-oop that time.
The pass, Clark, the catch, the dunk, all of it perfect.
Precision at its finest.
Yeah, and it all had to be perfect and in precision. That's not nearly as easy as they made it look.
Jacks up a three, and Iguodala gets it to go in. And the assist by Curry. Iguodala's got 6 here in this quarter.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them. You know, for a player with his explosiveness, that was ATM time. Cash, money, the easy way.
Yeah, that kind of defense is not going to cut it against him.
Cash, money. I like that, Clark.
They double-team Iguodala. Thompson from long range. And another three for Golden State.
He's their go-to guy. When he shoots the ball like he has today, that's what the scoreboard usually looks like.
On the wing, Jamal Crawford. Lee with the block. Here's Griffin. And he uses the glass on the layup. Griffin's got 9 points here in the second half.
Guys, he shot a very good percentage today, and they've needed it.
Curry against Paul. That is good. And that's now 30 points for Steph Curry.
His work at the offensive end has been phenomenal. Maybe reason number 1, they're ahead.
Well, they couldn't hook up there on what's really a pretty basic pass.
Here's Thompson. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Thompson's got 23 points.
They are not letting up, guys. They just keep coming at them.
And I'd say that lead is too big to overcome at this point. It's all on both ends of that pretty alley-oop.
You know, I got to say, Clark, when he threw the pass I didn't know where it was going to go.
We saw it. Ended up right where it was supposed to, in the back.
They sure did. I don't think anybody knew where it was going to go.
Boy, their defense making... impact here late, Kevin.
And straight off the steal, Clark, a perfectly run fast break ends in a slam dunk.
That could be a huge 4-point swing in this game.
There's 57 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Ball against Curry. Thompson outside. Feeds to Lee. Some nice passing by Golden State. 6 on the shot clock. Curry gets to Lee. And you know that's going to be goaltending, guys, so that's a free basket right there.
You got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
And it's a completely new group for Los Angeles. Here's Barnes. That ball's great assist by Darren Collison. This game looks like they've got it just about wrapped up.
You're exactly right. I mean, take care of the ball, work the clock. It's a wrap.
Yep, nice game.
Well, he tried to step in and cut him off, but just not quick enough.
And we have the benefit of replay, but I think they got that one right, which is the case most times, even though fans don't think so.
And it's a completely new group for Los Angeles. Yes! Oh, and that cuts the lead to just 5.
Heads-up play on both ends there. Transition basketball, the steal and the quick push.
Steve, that's how it should be played. I mean, rapid-fire basketball.
At the line for 2.
So he gets them both, and it's a 7-point game.
Good work at the line to stretch that lead out a little bit.
Los Angeles calls timeout. They're behind by 7. 17 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Guys, what's your take?
Well, they can game plan all they want, but there's not enough time left for them to come back and win this game.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly what they think they're going to pull off here.
And now an intentional foul. They need the ball back as soon as possible.
Yeah, you got to freeze the clock. I mean, that's the enemy in this situation.
A few misses at the line, and they're in good shape.
That's good, going 1 or 2 from the line, and that puts them up by 5. Now here's Paul. Crawford outside. Back to Paul. Takes a 3. Connects from downtown.
His three-point shot is so good. Just draining one after another.
So it's a narrow victory for the Warriors, pulling out the W. And Clark, you know, it was quite a nail-biter.
Yeah, it was tight. Their guys were able to come up with big plays down the stretch, and that's the difference.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Steve Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Stephen Curry.
Okay, so that will be pretty much it. As the regular season, it's over, it means it's playoff time. So unfortunately, and now the second season of the Simulation 2K 14 simulation of 2024-2025, and it did happen because of NBA 2K12. I uninstalled NBA 2K12 because they lost data, and I tried to get RLD restore, and unfortunately the reset ROM failed to open, and they said dynamic library he did not open. So since the beginning of NBA 2K12 from October, the Knicks and the Celtics, so all the way to the finale to 2K14 Clippers and the Warriors, as the season it's over. And now we're going back to the simulation mode to continue with simulation tomorrow night. It's off to Chicago, Illinois, as Derrick Rose of the Chicago Bulls take on Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks, and we're gonna be going to white versus black shirts, and because the Bulls are going to use this one in right now. I'm gonna use the Bulls, I'm gonna take it away, and the Knicks gonna use this one in now. And then I want this time in control of the LA Clippers. Will be heading to another association mode against the Warriors game. It's gonna be interesting here in Staples Center in LA and next Tuesday night. So it's gonna be good in the game here against those Warriors team. So that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. As the 2025 season is over, then we'll be giving for all season long. As the Warriors haul off, defeat the Clippers 120 to 118 by 2 points. I'm Andre Kenshin saying so long for Oracle Arena in LA. As the regular season 2025 is over, and we will see you next year for the 2026. So this is Andre Kenshin saying so long for Oracle Arena in LA. Oracle Arena in Auckland. We'll see you tomorrow. Will be triple header for you. We got the NBA playoff predictions 2025, the simulation of the 2025 playoffs, and will be Monday. We're off to United Center, Chicago, who features the Knicks and the Bulls. This is Andre Kenshin say so for Oracle Arena in Auckland. As the old season long is over, and as the 2025 season is done, it's time to say sign up and peace out. Good night, and thanks for watching. As the playoffs will be start on April 20. And reminder, we will see you tomorrow for the United Center Chicago for the Knicks and the Bulls. Sign up and peace out. Good night.